What's going on, everyone? Happy Saturday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. If you did test positive, hopefully you have a full and speedy recovery with no long COVID issues. It is time now for the Saturday edition of the Pandemic Update for Saturday, August 26th, 2023. Last night, I said, or yesterday during the pandemic update, I said we likely wouldn't do a Saturday update, or I wasn't certain if I was going to do a Saturday pandemic update, and we would just do that biography video about myself. Well, some things have happened since last night. I came home from work, my evening shift, and I noticed, whoa, there's a lot of news stories that I found and tweeted out. And then a few things have popped up today, and I found a few more things today. So I said, you know what? Rather than pushing it off till tomorrow after the wastewater update or Monday, I said, we need to do a pandemic update or else it just becomes too much for one video, and quite frankly, we got a lot of stuff to go through here. First off, this is from an Antonio Caramia, and you can see here, this is in Italy cases. This is on Twitter. They tweeted this out. COVID-19 update in Italy. 2 times the new cases than last week. You can see August 16th, they had 5,889 cases. And on a new update, according to this graphic, wow, August 23rd, 11,602 cases. That, my friends, is quite a few cases. Hospitalized patients, that's up by 33.5%. But this is what really strikes me. Patients in the ICU is up 51.7%. It's 44 versus 29. Now, you're probably saying 44 is not a lot of people. They had far more in 2020. I get that. But by percentage-wise, which we see here, and which we see here on the chart with the numbers that has increased, that's a pretty big increase, don't you think? And then we come down here to the positivity rate. That's up significantly, so you get the idea here. Things are not going too well right now in Italy. Then we take a look at this. Will you take the new updated fall COVID vaccine booster? And this was by the Spectator Index that put this out there. And then someone else took a screenshot and tweeted the results. Look at this. This is not good. How many said yes? 23%. Likely from the COVID cautious community, I assume. Or maybe there's still some good Samaritans out there. No, 77%. And that pretty much is close to what we saw occur with the last booster. A lot of people did not choose to take it. And here's why this is significant. 23% yes, 77% no. Well, 77% out of 29,590. I think that's a lot of people that are saying no, don't you? That's concerning. That means more time waning off from their last shot, or have they had an infection? More time in between the last time they've had any sort of immunity. So that's not good. Take a look at this. Davis Library branch to close Sunday after COVID-19 outbreak. So yet again, another COVID outbreak. We've seen several recently. It just continues. Now we come over to this, and UMass, University of Massachusetts Memorial, reinstates staff mask mandate after a dramatic increase in cases of COVID. We've been seeing quite a few places lately saying that they're going to bring their mask mandate back in the hospital in some way, shape, or form. This go around, it is for staff, so this is good to see. It needs to continue. And then there's this. New studies suggest that long COVID may affect millions more people than previously thought. That's not good. We're just reading the headline here. If you want to read the full article, I have tweeted it out. You can go and check it out for yourself. All right. Then we have this. IDPH, Illinois Department of Health, is watching COVID-19 data and monitoring other respiratory viruses, particularly flu and RSV, ahead of cold season. And we know Illinois, that we have seen, or at least Chicago, we know that Chicago has already been starting to rise. We can assume the rest of Illinois probably is as well. It says here, the Centers for Disease Control is reporting all Illinois counties show a low level of COVID-19 hospital admissions as of August, though wastewater surveillance is detecting rising COVID activity. So there you go. The wastewater says it is rising in Illinois at this time, and it does say here, look at this, although hospitalizations rates and deaths from COVID-19 remain low, it is important for our residents to know that we are seeing rising COVID-19 activity across Illinois. So there you go. Illinois, according to this article and according to some experts in Illinois, they're stating that, hey, they are seeing a rise in COVID at this time. Then we come over to this. And 26 tests positive for COVID-19. Over 40 fall ill at Charlotte Community Center. So this is not good. Want to read the full story? I have already tweeted it out. And it just continues. There is more. Then we come to this. COVID outbreak cancels football game for one Midlands high school team. So there's another outbreak. And then we come back to this, which I did the other day. I said we would revisit this poll that I took. Who knows someone who got sick at a concert? If yes, tell us which concert down below. 48.5% said yes. 51.5% said no. That's pretty close to each other. And the final votes was 975 people voted in this. And 48.5% said yes. So no did win, but again, a lot of people know someone who got sick going to a concert. Alright, now some sad news to report. I hate reporting on sad news, but yes. Unfortunately, if you grew up in the 90s like I did, or the 2000s, or maybe you go all the way back to the 50s and 60s with Truth or Consequences, then Price is Right. Yes, you know who I'm talking about. Bob Barker, the Price is Right host. You know, the one, we loved him. He was fantastic. He has died at 99 years old. I am not seeing a cause of death. Check back in the coming days. I will try and find a cause of death. But I think, 99 years old, that's a long time to live. And he looked like he was declining in the last few years, at least from the pictures and videos I've seen of him. I think he was in a wheelchair at the end. I've seen him in a wheelchair a couple times. So yes, the one that always said, well, you have $5,000. Do you want to stop now? Or you could continue. But Bob Barker. I mean, he was fantastic. He always liked to play those little jokes with people that were trying to win money on The Price is Right or win prizes. He was fantastic. Rest in peace, Bob Barker. God bless you, Bob Barker. I hope it's peaceful up there for you up in heaven. All right, moving on to this. Taking a look at the B&O tracker, where they are tracking the BA 2.86 variant. There are 4 cases of that variant in Denmark, United States, 3 cases, South Africa, 2 cases, Israel, 1 case, Switzerland, 1 case, Thailand, 1 case, United Kingdom, 1 case. Let's take a look at the air quality values around the country for today, and you will see here we may have trouble loading this. This site has been very slow today, but you will see that there's still some concerning air qualities in the Pacific Northwest, and yes, even closer to Seattle today is on that. Also Northern California, and you can see there is some yellow in the east, some orange in the south. Some of this will get relieved next week by a boundary that's going to stall, and then of course, there could be a tropical system in the Gulf. See my weather channel down below for that. I'm going to be doing an update for that directly after I finish with this one. I'm going to do a quick update on that. Also might do a climate update. Unfortunately, there was a series of tornadoes in the Cleveland area just the other day, and I think a climate report is needed on that because it was rather impressive. So anything climate related, here's the channel right here at Climate Data Report. Here you go. Hey, look at that. Just hit 200 subscribers. 148 videos we've done so far. You can go back and visit past stuff as well. I even have weather education, which I'm starting to do. And, of course, the all-important climate update. Generally, when tropics or something else picks up, we don't do a full climate update. We give greater attention to that. All right, moving on. Walgreens. We know the Walgreens positivity this week was higher than we would like to see. I don't think we'll be able to view the Walgreens site today. Let's see. Last weekend they locked it. No, it is working today. 44.9%. Prior week was 44.1%. It is up by 0.9%. That's not good to see. All right, moving on to this. We're going to have our wastewater update tomorrow. As you can see here, there's a lot of orange and red sites. Look for that probably early afternoon tomorrow. Again, I don't know if we'll do a pandemic update tomorrow. It just depends on how much data we find and news we find between now and tomorrow. Speaking of wastewater, I do want to do a couple of these wastewater scan sites. This site is behaving very slow for some reason, but there are a couple sites that we want to look at. And let's come down here to Texas, shall we? Let's go down close to the border and see what's going on there. So we can come down here to South Laredo. Am I saying that correctly? I hope I am. And I got to move myself to the left here. And you can see here, for COVID, it's dropping at a good bit at this time. Influenza dropping at this time. RSV is dropping. HMPV is dropping. Then you have Mpox, which is not being detected. And look at this, norovirus. It's relatively low at this time, just under 2,000. So that's good to see. Reason why we have checked this, I've seen a few comments on Twitter saying, COVID's coming across the border again. Well, at the moment, here's the border right here. COVID at this time is dropping at the border. Should we try for another site? Let's try for another one. If the website freezes, it freezes. You know what? Let's do something we haven't done in a while. Let's come out here to Hawaii. There are sites in Hawaii, believe it or not. And let's see if we can get one to load up. Here we go. Here's a Hilo. Take a look at this. COVID at this time is rising. Influenza not detected. RSV not detected. HMPV was detected earlier in the summer, has dropped. And it looks like there was a gap in between reports of data at the site. Mpox, not an issue, and norovirus is relatively low at this time. We know ER visits, they're rising at this time. It's not good to see. The only two places where we know of that are dropping are Vermont and New Hampshire. We don't know what's going on in Minnesota, Missouri, Oklahoma, or Puerto Rico. Then we come over here to this. This is the latest variance. EG.5 is in the lead, and FL 1.5.1 is also in second place at this time, if it ever decides to come up. So, yes, here it is. You can see 20.6% for EG.5. FL 1.5.1 is 13.3%. We don't see BA 2.86 just yet. At some point it will show up here, but there's not enough detection of it yet for it to make this report. We do now want to take a look at New Jersey, and a couple of things interesting to note. Number one, we don't see a drop in the number of hospitals reporting, which is compared to last week, and we did, if I remember correctly. And take a look at the last few days. Remember it went below 300? Yeah, they kind of corrected it a little bit higher. And suddenly today it's, hello, 325 again. So New Jersey reports 325 in a hospital, 6 people on a ventilator. What's the ICU? 30 people in the ICU. Discharges are at 38. Slightly less discharges today in New Jersey. And we do want to come here and take a look at Philadelphia. No, we don't want to look at Thursday. We want to see the new update from yesterday, which is 766 people. Had 766 EMS incidents. So 766 people had to call for an ambulance yesterday. Let's take a look in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania right now at what's going on. You can see total EMS incidents, 14. Busy at the moment. I mean, we've seen much busier, but hey, it's quite a few calls. And then taking a look at Chester County. Chester County's not too bad right now. It was a little busier when I checked earlier today, so this is not terrible. All right, continuing on now, we do want to take a look at New York State, just in case. Let's refresh this. I know they're not supposed to update on the weekends. I wish they would change that rule during surges. It would be nice to see the cases over the weekend when there is a surge, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm saying the word surge. Look at the chart here. Compared to other waves of COVID, this is not a big surge yet, but we need to still call it surge. All right, total number of cases reported on the most recent update out of New York State. 1,378. Positivity, 15.2%. That's not a good number. 7-day average, 14.4%. So we know New York State cases continue to rise. Here's Long Island hospitalizations. They had 194. Let's go statewide, New York. And you'll see here, look at this. Wow. It just continues to be upward. Yesterday, on the most recent update, it did slow a little bit. It was just a difference of down by 1 for hospitalizations and down by 3 for ICUs. 1,052 people in the hospital, 112 people in the ICU. And we might as well look at New York City while we're at it as well. And for those wondering, how many people are in the hospital with positive COVID in New York City. Well, 476, 53 in the ICU, and this is straight from the New York State website. And let's just do one more thing for today, shall we? Let's just take a look. I will move myself back to the right because it makes it easier to see this data when I am on the right. And let's just take a look at worldometers. Here's a few places we saw Italy's rising. The Worldometers version of Italy is up 19% on cases, down 31% on deaths. Then we take a look at Singapore. Singapore Worldometers now has them up 42%. Brazil is down 53%. Oh, I should add Singapore, 0 deaths reported. Sometimes they do that. Romania. Wow, what's going on in Romania? 5,259% increase in cases. Did they dump some backlog or something? 2,894 cases versus 54. Wow, 33% increase in deaths, 4 versus 3. That's a really weird increase in cases there. And then we come down here to Chile. 94% increase in cases. Switzerland, 42% increase in cases. Mako, 49% increase in cases. All these, by the way, not reporting deaths. Hong Kong, 10% increase in cases. And Thailand, 22% increase in cases. And they've had 9 deaths versus 7, which works out to a 29% increase. Alrighty, folks, that does it for today's pandemic update. Tomorrow we will have the wastewater update. I'm not certain if we're going to also do a pandemic update tomorrow. We'll just see how the news goes tonight. I'm leaning towards no, even if there is a lot of news that comes in, because got to give my other channel more attention. I am definitely doing a tropical update this evening. Probably doing a tropical update and the regular climate update tomorrow or something of that sorts, because there's a lot of climate data to go over in terms, even those tornadoes from the other day. And plus, it's very important. There is a potential tropical system, maybe even hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico that could affect Florida, or maybe even the Georgia Gulf Coast, and then maybe the Carolinas and Georgia. So it's something that needs my attention because that's my passion. Weather is my actual real hobby. I've been tracking weather for, gosh, well over 20 years. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Saturday edition of the Pandemic Update. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. If you know anyone that needs to see this content or would just enjoy watching this, by all means, share this with them. I will see you all again next time. But until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone, and have a great Saturday evening. Bye-bye.